All right, I will go ahead and call to order the October 15th, 2025 special called meeting. We will go ahead and, let's see, looks like we've got everyone here tonight in attendance except Jenna. And she is traveling, and so not in attendance. And so we will start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Before we call to order, I would like to discuss adding an item to the agenda. As of this afternoon, we received quotes on the appraisal for the properties that will be used as collateral for the purchase of the Pierce properties. Those appraisals came in between, let me look at those numbers just to.
Should we add the item to the agenda and then get into this discussion part?
Yes. So,
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to add an item to the agenda.
Second.
all those in favor? Okay.
What item would you like to add to the agenda?
I would like to add an item for the appraisal of properties associated with the purchase of the Pierce properties. Appraisals associated with the Pierce properties.
Second.
No. Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to add the item to
For the
appraisal of the Pierce properties
or for the properties
associated with the Pierce property.
Associated with the purchase of the Pierce properties.
Do you have that written down? Is that
No,
right
I
here?
don't. This was a very last minute thing.
Associated with the Pierce property purchase.
Yes.
Second.
All those in favor? That motion passes unanimously. We will add that under new business, so that will become item number 3. Under old business, the first item is the Fraser tax incentive application. This is a tax incentive associated with the proposed Fraser project that we have discussed previously. Do we want to discuss items with that? I think we have, the applicant has provided some additional information as far. Do you want to tee that up? I don't have that in front of me, Ashley.
What are you wanting to tee up exactly?
I was going to.
Why don't we go ahead and make a motion to...
I guess, was there any discussion? Sorry. Yeah. I was just wondering if there was any discussion.
I guess that is a question. Would we like to discuss that, or would we like to make the motion regarding the incentive?
Robert?
Okay. It does, you're exactly right. So somebody would like to make a motion in second prior to our discussion?
Mr. Chair, motion for the Fraser resolved is the following. The DDA has reached from Wizard Stevens an application supporting the documentation of the property and tax saving incentives related to the Fraser at Old Town Gordon project. The board hereby authorizes the chair of the DDA in consultation with the counsel for the DDA on behalf of the DDA to negotiate with Windsor Stevens and prepare a memorandum of understanding regarding such incentives that is consistent with the established practices of the DDA, provided that such incentives shall not exceed $20 million to Windsor Stevens net after the DDA administrative fees, and that the additional approval of the board shall be required for the execution of such a memorandum of understanding.
Second.
Discussion. Discussion of this item.
Yeah, just to confirm, the 20 million will be enough for you? And also, I don't know if it's kind of embedded in some of these things mentioned here, but my understanding is there's an additional 10 years on the affordable housing?
Yes, sir. We worked with the staff and putting together clarification, I think, is what we were requested to do. And there were 3 areas in which we worked on the clarifications. 1 was the community parking access. 2 was extending the affordability period. And the 3rd was the annual affordability compliance payment for the project. And so what we did is that we specified the 40 parking spaces between 7 a.m. and 5 p.m. That we're going to extend. 20 of the spaces will be used for our retail clients at that time. The extended affordability period, the guidelines for this program, I think, was for 20 years for the affordability, and our tax request was for 20 years, so the tax abatement was for 20 years. But understanding that this is a new program and that we wanted to create more value, we agreed to extend the affordability period in the form of a land use restriction agreement that will be on the deed. So if we sold it at any time in the future, that provision would be still in effect. That would be for 30 years, not 20 years. So you'll get an additional 10 years of affordability. And then the 3rd item is that we agreed to make an annual payment, which will also be under a land use restriction agreement onto the deed for 30 years, $25,000 per year payment for compliance to ensure that we're in compliance with that item. So those are the additional benefits. And as you all know, we are going to make it work. Hopefully, interest rates will come down a little bit more. And so we're betting that the interest rate environment will get better. That's how we're making the decision.
So Mike, I asked the same question that you asked, but what this is, we're authorizing the chair and our lawyer to create the MOU, which will have all that details that you're asking about in that. Right. So, and then we will then vote on that. So that's when you'll make sure that all that stuff is, all the details. This is just a very authorizing, like the chair and the lawyer to begin working on it. That's why there's no detail in here.
I would say we are very anxious to get all of this wrapped up because we have one parcel that we don't own that's under contract that we need to. So if we are available for any special call meetings,
We have another meeting in 2 weeks, so I don't know if we can get it done in time, but
I don't know that, Dan, that would be asking a lot to get the MOU, or at least a draft MOU prepared and then reviewed by the applicant's attorney and however many rounds of.
Well, these should not be that difficult, and my attorney will be ready to go. So we just don't want to get caught in the holiday season with this.
Okay, we will do our best. We will ask Dan to expedite the creation too.
we don't have meetings in November and December already.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, they're this early, like at 4:30, yeah.
Yeah, we've just,
Piggyback,
Meetings I go to, so maybe
it piggybacks off council.
right. We do in fact have meetings
consider that. Got it.
forward. Yeah.
As the MOU is being drafted, assuming this passes, a point of detail for that MOU, you mentioned 40 parking spaces, 9 to 5 p.m.
7 to 5.
Sorry, 7 to 5. What parking spaces after 5, if any?
There are going to be 20 after 5.
Okay,
Yeah.
so for the restaurants at night,
Yes, sir.
et cetera,
Yes, sir.
20 spaces?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the 40 is meant for daytime workers and lunch people? And
Yes, sir.
okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, additional discussion? Okay, we have a motion and a second. Call the vote. All those in favor, please say aye. Looks like that motion passes unanimously.
Thank you very much for your time.
Congratulations. Looking forward to this project. I think it'll be a great addition to the
Next
city.
step is, I guess me and you're going to be talking a lot.
I think we will.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
All right, the next item is the second amendment to the purchase and sale agreement with Greystar Development East LLC. As a point of clarification, we had previously approved a second amendment to the PSA. The purchasing party has requested, the purchasing party had requested edits to that document, so our signing of that is moot. In fact, the details of that are still under negotiation between our attorneys and their attorneys. What this second amendment will become is to push back the end of the inspection period for the property from last Wednesday to this Friday at midnight. And my understanding, I don't fully know exactly why the applicant asked for it, other than they did. My understanding is that it really has to do with internal bureaucracy within Greystar, that they're trying to, and it may also have to do with working out some of the details of what is now the third amendment to the PSA. By all indication, we have received, talking to Brian and Chris from Stream, they have seen no indication that Greystar has doubts about this deal. You know, they seem to be proceeding with all alacrity towards conclusion of it. So, I mean, it really does seem like this is an administrative process.
Who told you that? Was that the Greystar or was that the?
That was Brian and Chris from Stream. No, there's lots of players and lots of, yes. So, any questions about that amendment, discussion? Shall we have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to rescind the approval of the version of the Second Amendment to the agreement for purchase and sale of real estate between the DDA as seller and Greystar Development East LLC that was approved at the September 23rd, 2025 DDA meeting.
All those in favor? Okay, that motion passes unanimously.
There's part two to this. I'd like to make a motion to approve, authorize, ratify, and confirm the entry of the DDA into the revised Second Amendment to the agreement for purchase and sales of real estate as presented between the DDA as seller and Greystar Development East LLC as purchaser, and authorize the chair to execute related documents.
Any discussion? All those in favor? That motion passes unanimously. All right, the third item on the agenda is a request for the DDA to authorize the appraisal of certain properties associated with the purchase of the Pierce property. So what this is we are under contract to purchase the two properties owned by Larry Pierce or their family entity. Associated with that, as collateral, we are pledging the two Pierce properties and one property that the DDA owns as collateral for the loan to purchase those two properties. In order to do that, they need to appraise those properties to confirm that their value will exceed the amount being loaned. Will, I assume. The goal is that the value of those three properties, the two Pierce properties, and one additional property currently owned by the DDA, in fact, the adjacent property that fronts on Peachtree Road, those three properties are going to be appraised. And so the DDA needs to pay for those appraisals. The bank, in their processes, has requested appraisals or requested quotes from companies to provide the appraisals. Those quotes are blind in that they do not know exactly which companies are providing the quote for those appraisals. They have gotten 4 quotes. Speaking from memory, the bottom one was, I want to say, low 4,000s. The second one was 5,000. The third one was a little bit over 5,000. The top one, I think, was a little over 6,000. The recommendation of our lender, who is leading this process, is that we effectively throw out the bottom quote and take the second from the bottom, which is slightly more than $5,000.
How many quotes did we get?
They got 4.
Okay.
Which are generally in the same range. So what I would request the board is to authorize the chair to sign a contract for the provision of the appraisals in an amount not to exceed $6,000.
I'd like to make a motion to authorize the chair to approve the appraisal for 3 properties, 2 owned by the Pierce family and 1 currently owned by the DDA, to use as collateral for a DDA bank loan
In amount not to
in an
exceed
amount not to exceed
$6,000.
$6,000.
Do we have a second? Second. All those in favor? That motion passes unanimously. It appears like we have no public, so therefore no public comment tonight. There is no need for an executive session, so I believe our business is concluded. Do we have a motion for adjournment?
Make a motion to adjourn.
All those in favor? Aye. That passes unanimously. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Cool, yep.
We going over to the Harvey, or are we going?